Hello and greetings, friends. This is Patty Bennett. I am a Stampin' Up! Independent demonstrator, and we are in part 3 of our technique series. So we've been doing technique classes, and this is part 3. We are going to be doing ghost stamping. So you might be finding me live on my Facebook page. I go live on Fridays at 11 a.m. Pacific time. If you're watching live, today's December 2nd, welcome. Please say hi if you're watching live, just so that I can say hello to you. And if you are a first timer, please let me know so that I can give you just a little special shout out. I am just making sure here, yes, I am on the right page. It's always super encouraging to know that you've gone live on the correct page. So I'm going to give everybody just a moment to find the live because I did hop on just a moment early. So if you're watching a replay, why don't you skip ahead a minute or two, and then you'll be able to jump right in with the actual instructions. But I'm just going to take a minute here to say hello and welcome everyone that's joining live. So hey, I see Kathy, Susan, Nicole, Dawn, John, Tracy, Janet, Suze, Pam, and 29 others, it says. Hi, Shan. Good morning, Jen. Hi, Sherry. Hello, everyone. I hope that you are having a great day. It is super duper chilly here. It was in the 30s, and it was that, feels like 30 degrees this morning on my walk. So I had several layers on, and it was chilly, but I survived. I survived. So hi, Donna. Hi, Vicki. Welcome, everyone. Today is part 3 of our technique class series. So if you're joining in live and that's what you're looking for, then you're in the right place. Or maybe you didn't know what we were doing today, and that's fine. I hope you're going to love this because this is just really a cool technique, and I'm excited to share it with you. Yes, I'm talking. Shan, let's see. Can someone let me know if there's sound? Hopefully there's sound. Shan is asking if I'm talking. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Christine. If you could just let me know in the comments that you can hear me, that would be great, because that always worries me if there's no sound. Hi, Patricia. I'll just hold for one moment here just to make sure. It says Tammy's watching. Welcome. Okay, yes, there's sound. Thank you so much. All right, we are going to jump in and start today. So thanks, Donna. Thanks for letting me know. Okay, thank you, Sherry. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So my name is Patty Bennett. I blog at pattystamps.com. And last month, no, actually, gosh, did we start this in October? Let me look here. We did. So back in October, late October, I thought it would be fun to start a technique series where I would pick a technique from my I have 2 old technique series books. So this is what the 5x7 book looks like. This is the ghost punching or ghost stamping that we're going to be doing. And I decided to look through my books. I have 2 of these, and to pick out something and kind of resurrect it. And so our first one was rock and roll, and we did that with the wreath set. Do you remember that? That was back in October. Well, here was my goal. My goal was to do one every week, and by the end of the year, I thought we would have 10 classes done. Well, I didn't realize, I wasn't thinking when I said that, how busy I was going to be in October and November. I had 3 trips in 6 weeks, and then we had Thanksgiving. And so Fridays just got a little wonky, a little off. So our next one then was in early November, November 5th, and we did faux tile. So I don't know if you remember that. We used the Simply Scoring tool, and we made lines, and then we stamped over it to look like tile. So now here we are all the way in December 3rd, and we are doing ghost stamping. So if you're looking for the actual samples and this download, this free technique sheet, It will be on my blog December 3rd, which if you're watching live, that's tomorrow, Saturday, December 3rd. You can download this. It includes the supplies, so you don't have to write things down. I included the basic directions and the 4 samples that I'm showing you today. So I just wanted to say that one reason that I do not do classes where I charge or anything like that, anything that I'm charging for is simply because of what I just told you. Here I had these grand plans to do 1 a week starting in October, and then I only had 1 in November just because of being away and Thanksgiving. And now here we are in December and we're finally on number 3. So I kind of figure that if it's free, then if something comes up, then I don't have to really worry. And I don't have to be all freaked out that I wasn't upholding my agreement. So there you go. It's free. And I hope you enjoy it. And I will link on my blog post tomorrow to the page where you can see all of the technique classes. You can get all of the downloads all in one spot. So watch for that. Okay, so all of that out of the way, let's get stamping. Oh, good. Jean says this is a new technique to her. That is exciting. Jan says nothing wrong with once a month. Well, I had high hopes that we would be doing something each week, and life happens, right? I did an unboxing. I went to On Stage. I went to my father-in-law's 90th birthday party. We had a family vacation in Vegas. There was lots going on. So here we go. This is what we're doing. This technique, of course, back when I did it back in, 10, 12 years ago, whenever I taught the class, we did not have this set. We had a different set that had shapes. This is a newer set called Watercolor Shapes, and it's the set that I decided to use for this technique. So I'll show you. I used the rectangle and the small square and the circle. And if you don't have it, and if you're thinking, wait, where is that? I know I always like to show it in the catalog because sometimes it just makes a little more sense when you see it. So it's on page 102, and that's where you will find it. It's $21. And, if you are part of my birthday club, so if you're watching this in December 2022, you can be in my birthday club. This might be a free set that you select, because if you place your $75 order with me this month, you can select a $25 set for free next year in the month of your birthday. You just fill this out and send it back to me. So you can check that out on December 1st on my blog or in my customer newsletter. All the details are there. But this is a set that you could select for free if you wanted to. You are also going to want punches. So the punches I selected for this is the it's called Evergreen Border. I just call it the tree punch. So, whatever. So I used this punch. I also tried and did not care for, I'll show you the result, the dragonfly punch. That wasn't my favorite for this particular technique. And the vintage bottle punch. I really liked this one. So I used that. And then you can also use dies. You don't have to use punches. So for this one, I used the ranunculus, the leaf and the ranunculus dies. And I'll show you how I did that. And then in this one, I used a small flower die. And that was from Shaded Summer, but any small flower would work. So whatever you have in your stash, either small, well, it doesn't have to be small, but any dies, any punches, you'll see as we go through these, and you might get some ideas and think, oh, I have that, or I have something similar, and then you could use that. So first, let's use the tree punch, and I'll show you how I did this one. So if I get these little shaky bits out of the way, this right here is the end result of ghost stamping with this punch. So I'll show you how I made it. And I just used a scrap of grid paper. If you have a scrap of paper from your printer, whatever, your fax machine, well, that's kind of old school, but you know what I mean. Just any kind of thin paper, you can use that. And we are going to come out with this result. And I'll show you what I did. I will say that using one solid color was okay, but you can see the difference in using two colors. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to use two colors. If you prefer to use one color, you'll see the difference of the result. Alrighty, so the first thing we're going to do then is we're just going to punch. And this is a border punch, which means that if you slide it along, so do you see how, oh, I shouldn't have taken it out. It slides better. Hang on. Okay, this is a good teaching moment. If this happens to you, especially, hang on, sorry, I got to get this out. Let me grab my tweezers. When you're using thinner paper like this, it can get caught. And the way to avoid that is simply, like I said, don't slide it out. So I'm just going to slide it along like this, match up that edge, and then punch again. And that's how you can get a longer border piece. So I was talking and not thinking, and there we go. So we're going to use this piece right here. And I am going to grab another small grid sheet, and I am going to apply this. I know it's hard to see, right? But I'm going to just apply this onto here. So whatever you punch, you will want to adhere it onto another scrap paper. And this doesn't have to be temporary adhesive. This is just some old, what is it called? Like Hermafix, I think it was. I just didn't want to tear my my delicate little piece here. So that's why I was using a really gentle adhesive. It really, that didn't matter so much, but there we go. So then we are going to use this large rectangle. Let me get the glare off of there. The large rectangle from the Watercolor Shapes, and that's what we're going to use for our ink. Now, the stamp on one side, can you see all those tiny little dots? So it's kind of a stippled and it's an uneven image. It's supposed to be. So if you look at it on the cover here, you can see it's supposed to be a watercolored look. It's not supposed to be super solid. And I tried it with that side, but what I found, this is kind of funny, I actually liked it if I turned it over and I used the solid side. So that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to show you on this. And you know what? I'm not even watching comments. Oh, good. You're not asking questions yet. Perfect. 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 Because I wasn't watching the comments. I am going to grab a couple of greens. And we'll be lucky if my whole pile of business over here doesn't fall down. I think I'm going to do Granny Apple and Shaded Spruce. I'm pretty sure that's what I used here. Open up both pads. And I'm going to ink sort of half of this rectangle in Granny Apple. So again, this is if you want the two-tone. If you prefer just to do one color, just ink the whole thing in one color. It really doesn't matter, but I liked this two-tone. Now, what I don't want is that super harsh line. So with a sponge dauber and my Granny Apple, I'm going to just soften this line. So look, do you see how that hang on. There we go. Do you see how that just softens that line? Because I didn't want a super harsh line. All right, so there we are. We have two colors on there. So here's the fun part. Remember, we have this border of trees on here. I'm going to stamp on top of them. I'm going to push pretty hard. There is the ghost stamping image. So now we put down whatever it is we want to stamp on, and we stamp down. Again, nice firm pressure. Let all of that ink transfer over. And there is our ghost stamped image. Isn't that cool? And I think as a bonus, I would probably actually lift this off of here and actually use it on a project because I just think it's really cool. Isn't that fun? So for my faux shaker card, I stamped what we just did there onto the bottom portion of a deckled rectangle die cut. I slipped it into one of our clear translucent envelopes like that. And if you haven't made a faux shaker, it's really easy. You just take your shaky bits, and I'm not actually going to fill this because we have other things to get to, but you just open this up and you put your shaky bits right in there, and then you seal this up tight right around whatever your shape is, and then you glue it right to the front of your card. And I have a link tomorrow in my blog post for my faux shaker video, because I did that about a year ago. I did a video on making these faux shaker cards. So that's that. That's the trees. Isn't it cool? What do you think? Do you like? Oh, good. Anne says it's amazing. Libby says she's never seen it. Super cool. Yay. I'm glad. Oh, Linda likes it. Lisa likes it. Let's see. Mary says, what happens if you don't have that blank stamp? You're going to need some kind of solid stamp. Maybe there is some way to figure out how, I don't know. Somebody might be able to figure something out, but you need some kind of shape or blank stamp to do this technique. Something. So, yeah. Thanks, Lisa. Oh, thanks, Susan. Thanks, Jean. Oh, good. Everybody likes it. Good. Isn't it cool? I know. Hi, Colleen. All right. So that is the tree image. And then I wanted to show you, because it's probably my favorite, is how I did the jar. So you can see the vintage, bottle. I don't know why I call it a jar. They call it a bottle, the vintage bottle. So let's look at how I did that one. So we take our bottle punch. And by the way, you can use that punched piece over and over and over. You can make several cards. So you don't have to punch this every time. You can just keep going, keep making samples over and over and over. So we're going to put our bottle punch onto our scrap paper. And then I used the same size, this large one, and I actually stamped on another die cut tag. It doesn't have to be a die cut tag. This could just be a rectangle. And I used Coastal Cabana. And on this one, I did not use two colors. I just did one color. So we'll see kind of the difference of how this looks with the one color versus the two colors that we did. And I stamped over the bottle kind of off to the side because I wanted it to be a little bit offset when I stamped onto this tag. This is hard to see without putting my head in the camera and looking straight down, but we'll see how straight this is. May or may not be very straight. Not bad. It's pretty straight. And what is so cool is that no matter how many times you do this, it comes out different. And I think that's sort of fun. And I had some pieces ready here that I thought maybe we could just complete the card together. Oh, so I already had another one, but you can see there. Those two turned out different. It turned out different the first time I did it because I didn't push as hard. So you can get really different looks. Isn't that fun? And I used this vintage Christmas set. And so it has the bottle, excuse me, I keep calling it a jar, has the bottle that goes with the punch. It also has a smaller one. And then it has these flowers and this little greenery and centers. And that's what I used to stamp this. And I just fussy cut. I did not, there is not a die that goes with this. And you can do that pretty quickly. And remember, when fussy cutting, it's great to do your best to hold your paper pretty, hold your paper in your left hand if you're right-handed, and move your paper, not your scissors. So my scissors, it might look like they're moving, but they're really still. And I kind of accomplished that by putting this arm, I've got it like down on the table, and that helps me to keep it still. And then I can just turn my paper and cut out my image pretty quickly. The thing that inspired this card was I was actually going to use this piece on a totally different card. It was sitting on my desk and I didn't use it. And I turned it over and I thought, oh, look at this. I think this color combo could be really cool. And so I stamped, I think I'll do it sort of like this. Yeah. So I stamped with the same colors in that paper. And I was like, oh, I kind of like that. It's really different. So I did Blackberry Bliss and the Coastal Cabana. And then I actually used Mango Melody for the centers. I know this is probably daffodil, but it's still yellow. And then I picked up the olive and the shaded spruce in the leaves. Now on this one, I used, oh gosh, I should have remembered what set I used. I think this is the original. Did I keep it out here? It's not. I was going to say I don't know what set those little, I don't know. I was thinking, oh, it is. Oh my goodness. Oh, some days you just need to take a deep breath. Okay, so in the original Bottled Happiness that goes with the bottle punch, there is this image, and I used it on top of the bottle to make it look like those flowers kind of had some stems coming down into the bottle. So I will probably do that and finish off this card, but I just thought I would show you two really different looks using this technique with the ghost stamping and making a finished card. Oh, thank you. Tammy says, love that. Yes. Oh, thanks, Marcy. Thank you, everybody. Oh, good, Lisa. Yeah, fussy cutting, you know, it's not for everyone. And if you don't like it, then you don't have to do it. You really don't. But I love fussy cutting, and the more you do it, I think the more comfortable you become. Let's see. Mary says, should you clean your dauber between dabbing on the two colors? I don't. You could, but I don't. I never clean my daubers. Let's see. Diana says, I was late. Where does the tree stamp come from? It's the punch. It's the border. This is the whole idea with the ghost stamping, is that you punch out or die cut an image and you stamp over it and then you stamp on your paper. So it's a punch. Let's see. Oh, good. Shan said that she bought the Watercolor Shapes set that we're using and hadn't used it. So there you go. Now you have an idea for using it. I hope that you like it. Awesome. So let me show you some other tips and other things that I did. It might give you some ideas. Just going to close my ink pads just so we don't have any disasters. So one thing I tried was flowers from, this is the summer. What is that? Shaded summer? No, summer. Oh, my mind just went blank. Summer Shadows, I think it was called. And I used the circle from Watercolor Shapes and stamped on here. I haven't made anything with it, but I thought it was a really cool, kind of a batik look almost, right? Would you agree it's kind of batik looking? And then I told you I used the Dragonfly Punch. I did not really care for this result. Let me put them here so you can see them. I think I was thinking in my mind that this larger image might look a little more detailed. It looks kind of like a blob. I don't think I'm going to use those, but I tried. I wanted to see what else I could do. You know what I mean. It's always fun to try, right? And then this again is one of my favorites. If you want to hang out a minute, I'll make this one if you want to see how I did it. This is the card I ended up making, and like I said, this is the die cut leaf from the ranunculus set, and you can do any leaf, doesn't have to be this particular one, but I liked the fact that this die cut has all these little lines, so when you do this technique, it's not just a blob, it has some definition. So you can see there kind of the difference of that versus this, because there's no definition here. It's just the outline, and I really liked that. So I'll make this one and I'll show you how I stamped that one. And then the last one I want to show you is this sweet little 4x4 card. So here is what I die cut with that summer. Oh, of course, we get a phone call. Summer Shadows dies, and I just used where'd it go? Here it is. Super tiny. It's the smallest little image in the Watercolor Shapes, and I used that to stamp on top of the punched out flower. And then I stamped onto 4 of these little teeny tiny from, what's it called? Something shapes, stylish shapes, and just made a little cute 4x4 card with that. So those are kind of all the things I experimented with. Yep, Tracy, phone call, of course. Oh, I love the leaves too. Yes. Oh, yes. You want to see the leaves? Okay, we'll do the leaves. All right, perfect. Just checking if there were questions. Sorry, just reading comments. Okay, I don't see any other questions. So let me show you how I did the leaf image, because I think it just turned out beautiful. And then I will check back for any comments. But I'm excited to finish this card. I think I love that color combo. And I never would have done it, except I was inspired by the designer paper. Do you ever do that? Do you look at a piece of designer paper and think, oh, that's going to be gorgeous? So I will show you, this is funny, this piece here. So this was the piece that I was using when I punched and die cut, and then I just left them on here, and I just kept using this over and over and over. So here are my 2 leaves that I stuck. This one moved. We have to move this closer. This was the die cut from the ranunculus set, and I can tell it was like right somewhere around there. So I'm going to stick it back in place. So there's the 2 leaves, and we are going to recreate this image onto another die cut tag. And this one was Pumpkin Pie and Mango Melody, 2 of my favorite Patty colors. And instead of going 2 colors this way, I'm going to do 2 colors this way, side by side. And just going to blend a little bit here. So again, that we just didn't have that really harsh line, just like you saw me do with the trees. Okay, and then we stamp right on top of our die cut image. So you, like I said, either use punches or die cuts. So you can see, do you see the image there? That's our, sorry for the glare, that's our ghost image. And then we're just going to stamp it right onto, hopefully get this covered without having to put my head in the camera. Stamp it right onto the piece that we want to use. So pretty. Look at that. I just love it. Every single one comes out different, and I think it's beautiful. And I know we're not in fall right now, but I just had to experiment and see what all I could create with different punches, different, different die cuts, different shapes, different seasons, different ideas. So you can see there, this was my worksheet, and I just kept using them and using them and using them. I think the trees, I don't know, the trees are, they're all my favorite. Never mind. I was going to say that trees are my favorite, and then I was going to say no. The leaves are my favorite, and then I was going to say no. The bottle's my favorite. I love them all. What do you think? Do you have a favorite? Let's get them back out here. Are we missing one? We're missing something. What are we missing? Oh no, that's the 4 cards. Never mind. Oh dear Lord. Some days. Okay. Oh good. Brenda's never seen it before. Thanks, Kathy. Oh good. I'm glad you like it. Could you use the back side of a photopolymer stamp? Well, that's what I used. That's exactly what I used. This is the back side of the photopolymer stamp. So yes, you can use the back side of a photopolymer stamp. I did not use the correct side because, like I said, it comes out irregular. I mean, it's supposed to be, but I didn't want the irregularity. I wanted a little more solid of an image. So yes, I did use the back side. All right, let's see. Oh, good. Yes. Oh, thank you, everybody. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. So if you tuned in a little late, just a reminder that you can download the free technique class sheet tomorrow. So by tomorrow, since this is live on December 2nd, tomorrow is December 3rd, it'll be on pattystamps.com. You can download the technique sheet. You can also I will link to the previous 2. So this is part 3. We've had part 1 and part 2. You can get all 3 technique classes for free, the sheets, and it has all the supplies, the directions, the photo, and then if you've got the download, I mean, you're welcome to print it, but if you download the physical PDF, that doesn't make sense. If you download the PDF, these are clickable links that will take you to the post where you can see more information. And we'll keep going. We're going to keep going with this as a free series. I'm going to keep bringing these to you on Fridays. I'm excited to revisit these old techniques. And so far, I can say on every one of these, there has been at least half a dozen people who have said, I've never seen that before. And so I think it's fun to reintroduce these techniques and revisit them and use a newer stamp or newer products from, 10, 12, 15 years ago when I did these in classes. So I'm going to ask you now, if you had questions, could you type them again for me in case I missed it? Because I probably missed something and I would love to answer your questions if you had a question. You're welcome, Peggy. You're welcome, Elizabeth. Oh, good. Bev says she's never done it either. Susan says the old techniques are new to her. That's awesome. I'm happy. Thanks, Holly. Thank you, Christine. Any other questions? Just checking the live comments. Oh, good. Lisa said she's never seen this before either. Awesome. Awesome. I think it just turned out really fun. Something different to do with your supplies. Go through your supplies, go through your punches, go through your die cuts, and see what you would like to use. You're welcome, Patricia. Right, Mary, that's what I was saying, is that this is the back side of the stamp. So yes, any back side of a stamp will work. There's the front side, there's the back side. I know you probably can't see the difference, but yes, I was using the back side. So yes, you can use the back side of a photopolymer stamp. Could you use a block? I don't know if the block will work. Let's try it real quick. Let's see. So if we just ink my Coastal Cabana, let's see if it works. Get my Coastal Cabana. And let me grab a scrap paper. And if we ink over the bottle, you know, we'll see. Okay, let's not prejudge. We'll see. And then we ink onto, it's looking like it might be a bit of a mess. Let's see. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, no. That's a no. There's no cushion. Maybe if you got out, I don't even know, if you used the foam mat, but I'm going to, yeah, I don't think that's going to work as well. But you can try what you have. And if you don't have the watercolor shapes, it's a perfect set to do this technique. You're welcome. Yeah, that's true, Mary. That's a great point. The stamped ink block, the inked block does give a unique look, and you might use that for something else, probably not for this exact technique. And anything else? Oh, let's see. On the Christmas card, is the bag bulky? So, not really. It's really... Can you see how thin that is? It's not even really as thick as if you had dimensionals. So this, I'm going to say, would probably only need the extra, do they call it the non-machinable stamp? I don't know. You could take it to the post office, but really it's not thick. This is thinner. This depth is thinner than if you used dimensionals. That's a great question. And be sure to check the, like I said, tomorrow I will link to my video from a year ago, or you can go to my YouTube channel right now, Patty Stamps, and in the search bar on my channel, you just type faker, shaker, or faux shaker. The whole video will come up and you'll see a whole bunch of examples of making that. Yes, the clear envelope, Diana. You're welcome to watch the replay for a little more info or my other video as well. Alrighty, well, I don't see any other questions, so I will let you go. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a fabulous weekend. I can't believe we're in December. A little bit scary, but we are. And I hope that you just have a fabulous weekend. I hope you'll try this out, and I will see you all next week. Bye-bye.